everybody. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the Teckwrap Puff Glitter HTV, and this is a really fun product. Comes in a ton of great colors, and we're going to make a t-shirt and a tote bag to test this out and see what we think. Now, if you're going to shop with Teckwrap, I encourage you to use code Corinne10. That way you save 5% on anything that you purchase from their website, which I will link down below. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be using two designs from my favorite website, creativefabrica.com. Now, right now in July, they have a great promotion where you can sign up for the $47 a year. You can even extend your membership if you're already a member. So we're going to be using this adorable Here Comes the Sun design, and I'm going to show you how to make this two colors. So all you have to do when you're on Creative Fabrica and you found something you want to use is click the download button. I can talk. And all you'll need to do is to save it wherever you want. So mine's pretty organized, even though it looks like chaos. And I'm going to save this into my beach folder and then just click save. Now remember I said we're going to use two designs, so I'll show you the other one. We're also going to be using this adorable beach ball, and this one's going to be a little bit more of an experiment since this is a brand new product to us that we're using. So we're going to try and see if we can like traditionally layer our puff to see if it'll work, because I want to be able to press each of these colors individually. So again, I'm just going to click download. It's going to bring up the folder. It should bring up my beach folder, and I'm just going to click save because that's where I want it to save. Now it is important that we unzip each folder, so I'm going to open both folders, and we need to extract them, because if you don't extract them, you're not going to be able to use them. They come in a compressed folder, so we need to just click extract all, then click extract. Now, another thing that I personally do is I will go through and delete everything that isn't the SVG or the PNG file because I don't need them. And then I'll also go back into my beach folder and I will delete the zipped folder once I've extracted it. That way I don't have to worry about it. It's no big deal. Now we want to get that Here Comes the Sun folder as well. So again, with this one, you're going to do the same thing. Extract all, click extract. And then for this one, it's already like inside of a folder. So we'll open that up. And again, just delete all the designs that we don't need. It's going to save you just a whole lot of hassle. And then I'll do the same thing here where I go back and I delete the zipped folder. It just saves some space on your computer to do it that way. Now let's head over to Cricut Design Space, upload our images, and I'm going to show you how we're going to mess with them a little bit. Over in your Cricut Design Space, click New Project, and then you're going to click Upload, and you're going to click Upload Image right here. From here, we're going to drag and drop our file. I'm going to start with the Here Comes the Sun. I'm just going to drag it and drop it, and then click Continue. Now, because it's an SVG, we don't have to do anything, but I am going to change my image name to Here Comes the Sun. That way, if I go to search for it in my uploads, I'll be able to find it. Then I'm just going to click Upload, and it'll upload it right into your canvas. Now let's upload our second image by just clicking Upload, Upload Image, and going to that folder. And then we'll drag and drop our SVG and drag it into our design, and then we have our beach ball. Go ahead and click Continue, and again, we can just simply click Upload. That's the nice thing with SVGs, they upload super quickly. Now I'm going to go ahead and size this down, and we're going to play with this one first. So I'll just kind of scooch him out of the way. We'll make this one a little bit bigger. So what we want to do first is we want to decide how do we want this colored. Now me personally, I'm going to do the Here Comes the Sun. So all the wording, I want it to be black because we do have a black glitter puff, and I just want to see how that's going to look. And then I want to do the sun portion in yellow. So that's going to be really cute. Now what I want to do is if you come over into your layers panel, you'll see that you have this little arrow. Click on your layer and you'll see that it brings up all of your different pieces of your design. Now what I want to do is click the two squares up here, which is our ungroup option. That's going to allow me to click on each of my pieces individually. Now one thing here is that each of these words is its own separate layer, and we don't want it to move them around, because if we were to click make it right now, I'll show you what it does. Because they're not attached, they're not welded, they're not united, it's going to move them around all over. So you can see we have the, here, we have sun, comes. We definitely don't want that. So what I'm going to do, let me click cancel really quick. What you want to do is select all of the words or any part of your SVG that you want to stay in exact place that is all going to be the same color. You can simply use the attach option and now it will hold them together. Now we can take our sun piece, it's individual by itself, and change the color over to yellow, and now we'll have our little SVG. I'm going to put this one on to a shirt. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and size this down a little bit, about 9.5, a little bit longer than 9.5 is good for a t-shirt design. So that one's good to go. We can move that one over to the side. Now we're going to mess with our beach ball. Now I'm going to put this one on to a tote bag, and it's just going to be the beach ball on a tote bag. So I think it's going to be really fun. Now I want to go ahead and work with the beach ball. And because of the way that this is designed, I am going to need to use some contouring in order to make this sit the way we want it to so that we can layer it correctly. Because we need the black layer to be our bottom layer. And in this one, they have it as the top layer. And I'm going to show you how you can tell. So what I'm going to do is I want to go to my beach ball, and you'll see you have all of the layers. I want you to ungroup it. And then I'm going to pull the black part off and show you something. If you look at where these are sitting, they sit under the black in order for them to line up correctly. So in order for us to make it so that we can make the black layer our bottom layer, we're going to need to do a little bit of contouring so that instead they will fit inside the black instead of outside of it, if that makes sense. But I'm going to show you how to do it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 colors of our beach ball. So what I'm going to do is duplicate my beach ball so that I have 5 of them, because we also need a solid black one. So I've got 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to take this beach ball right here and I'm going to click contour. I'm going to just click hide all contours, and that is going to be the ball that we build on top of. Now I'm going to select another ball, so we'll just grab this one. Now for this one, I only want to keep where it's going to be blue, which is this little section right here. So go to contour. You're going to click so that all of our pieces are gone. So we want to click the outer rim first. You'll see how it changes color. If you click that, you can kind of see over here where the ball changes to black. Click all the parts that we don't want to be blue and go ahead and close that. Then I'm going to change this to blue, and now I want to show you really quick because it's a little hard to see. Do you see how this one's just a little bit smaller? It's because of the way it's contoured to fit into our ball. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the red. So the red one is this big chunk right here. So I'm going to contour it, click to get rid of that, and then click all the other pieces that we don't want to be red. And then we're left with this smaller red piece. So we'll make that one red, and it's just because of the way that they set up the SVG for this. So you won't have to do this with all of them, but because of the way we want to layer this, we need to fix it up a little bit. Now we'll do the yellow. So again, we're going to contour, hide the outline, and then hide all the parts that are not the yellow piece. And then I'm going to create this to be our yellow, and our yellow is going to sit up here. Now I may need to adjust them a little bit because of where like the white's going to sit. And then the white is going to be the center, this piece, and this piece. So I'm going to click contour, get rid of the outline. I want to get rid of this one, and that one, and then change this to white. Now, when we put this on top here, you'll see that it looks like our beach ball. Now, like I said, I may need to adjust a little bit based on kind of where I have things lined up, because you can't really totally line them up perfectly when you're looking at it on a screen. But you can see here how this is all going to now create that same beach ball look, but using a better version of layering, and it's just going to work out a lot better. So you can delete these extra pieces, and now we have this beach ball to work with, and we have the Here Comes the Sun. Now I'm putting this on a tote bag, so I'm going to make it pretty big. I'm going to do it like maybe about 9 inches. I think that'll be a decent size, a little bit over 9 inches. I think that looks pretty good. So now we have our pieces and parts for all of our designs. Now I know that the beach ball probably seemed a little convoluted, But in order to get it to layer the way we wanted to, that was how we had to do it because of the way the SVG was set up. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this, and we're going to be doing this with that glitter puff. So I'm going to go ahead and save it as Glitter Puff Designs. That way I know what I used these for. You call it whatever you want. Then all I need to do is click Make, and it's going to take me over to our screen. Now we have our beach ball parts. And then you can see there's the big ball. And then this should be Here Comes the Sun. And the sun and all the beach ball parts. Now, because we are using HTV, you want to make sure you mirror all of your mats. Now, let's say that we don't remember to mirror all the time, because I certainly don't. My quick fix to that is to just select the entire thing. Go ahead and flip it horizontal. That'll have everything mirrored for you, and that way it's easier for you to line everything up. Now you'll see here that like everything looks kind of cuckoo crazy. Don't worry, it's totally fine. That's how it should look. It's gonna look a little nutty because you did flip everything, but now you'll see like I can move stuff back into place and it lines up pretty good. I mean, again, it's not gonna be perfect on screen, but that's okay. But now you can see that that's how it should be, and then we have the Here Comes the Sun that can go right up there. Now I'm going to go ahead and click Make. It's going to have everything mirrored, ready to go. Now the beach ball didn't matter as much, but definitely with the words, you want to make sure you mirror. So you can see here that those are in fact mirrored and ready to go. Now we are going to be using the Teckwrap Puff Glitter HTV, and it cuts on the glitter iron-on setting for me really, really well. I would recommend doing some test cutting. If you're not sure what test cutting is, I will link it down below for you. So let's head over to the machine and get ready to cut. All right, we are ready to cut our Teckwrap Puff Glitter. So I'm starting with white. I've got them all laid out in the order in which they come. So all I'm gonna do is open this up. Now I will say that I recommend highly that you label these after you take them out of the packaging, because they look and feel basically the same as their regular glitter HTV. So I like to use flat bracelets, and I'll just put like a piece of tape on them or something, but they look pretty much the same. There's not really a way to tell the difference until you press them. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. And then also keep in mind their puff rolls are a little bit thinner. So I am going to double check my sizing on some of these, because I do think I might have made one of them a little too wide, because this is actually only about 10 inches wide, and I did not lay that down very straight. So I'm going to double check all my sizing before I physically cut these, but I think they're all fine. I think they were all under 10 inches. Now sometimes this can be a little pain because the roll keeps wanting to roll towards me, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this put on. This is cut on the glitter iron-on setting. It works really, really well, but I would recommend doing some test cuts on your own machine just to make sure that your machine will cut it on the same settings. I always recommend test cuts anytime you do any new materials, but I'm gonna go ahead and double check my size. I just wanted to pop in while this is cutting, just to let you know kind of my feelings on it at this point. So far, I feel like it's a little bit thinner than your traditional glitter iron-on, and it cuts really well. I just used the glitter iron-on setting on my Cricut, and it worked really well. But this stuff weeds so nicely. Like, this is the nicest glitter style HTV I have ever weeded. I have my press set to 312 because it's at 310, and I know mine, I'd rather do it at 312. So what I'm going to do, this is our first layer. This is the just the black circle and just regular HTV. I'm going to line it up using the handles. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. That should be good. And then this is on firm pressure. We're only going to press the black for just a couple of seconds. We don't need to press it for a long time because we don't want it to shrink. So I'm going to pull that up. And then you want to peel your carrier sheet warm. Now I want to line up the white next just because that's our bigger part. And that way we can get the other colors lined up a little easier. So I'm just going to kind of shift this around until I'm happy with it. I think that looks pretty good. And this will be a good test to see if any of this glitter transfers over to our black. Now this one we're going to press again, and again with firm pressure. Now remember, we're just kind of testing to see how it does when it comes to layering. Could be a disaster or it could work out really well. We will find out. Now I am doing a semi-full press on those. I am going to pull it up just a couple seconds before it's fully done. And then these are a hot peel. That's already so puffy, super cute, but we'll see how it does if I press it a couple more times. Now, the beauty with these is we should, in theory, be able to press all of them at the same time. We might need to trim down the carrier sheets, but we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and get this lined up. I think that looks pretty good. If you're uncomfortable lining them up on your heat press, you can take it off. I don't really care. I've burned myself 100 times. It's no big deal. I need to move this one over a little bit. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to put this final blue piece in. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a full press with everything. Again, using very, very firm pressure on this. We're going to let this go for that full time. And hopefully everything will puff. That white seemed like it puffed pretty well. So hopefully everything else does too, but we'll find out. If not, we have a few tips and tricks we could try, but let's see how it did. All right, let's see. These ones did not seem to puff as well as the white. Oh, wait, it's puffing. As I'm taking the carrier sheets off, oh, we are getting puff. Oh, it is puffing as we're, oh, that's so fun. So it did puff, it just took it a moment. It's not as puffy as the white. I'm tempted to try another press, even though it might damage the white, but I want the other colors to puff. I'm going to go ahead and do just a little bit firmer, and I'm going to give it one more press because I know that when I've done that with some of the other puff products, it does puff better. So we're going to try it because, like I said, the worst thing that can happen is we damage it. Not the end of the world. We are reviewing the product, so we want to know what we think. I think it cut really well. I think it weeded beautifully. The best weeding I've ever had on a glitter product. But I do want to kind of test out that puffing and just see if we can get a better puff. This pink is not as puffy, but that blue really puffed. The green, not really puffy at all, but that white is stunning. I'm going to let this cool off and then give you guys a really good view of it. For this one, we're going to be using a white t-shirt. So the first thing that you always want to do is get the moisture pressed out. I'm not sure if I mentioned that for the tote bag, but you always want to press the moisture out. This is super important when you're doing especially the puff, because if it's got any moisture in it, the puff doesn't really want to puff. Now I'm going to give this a full press at that 315 or 312 for the 15 seconds. That way we're really making sure all that moisture gets out of the shirt. We don't have any of that that's going to get in our way. Now you also have a nice wrinkle-free surface, but I want to show you, and hopefully you'll be able to see if there was any moisture in here. You'll be able to kind of see it around the edge. It doesn't look like the shirt was really moistured, so that's a good thing. Now I'm going to get our design and line it up. This looks like it's pretty even, pretty straight, so I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to press both at the same time, but I want to just point out to you that I don't have any carrier sheet under where the sun is, and I just cut it real close to the letters. That way I could press them at the same time, because with puff, layering can be a little difficult. You're really not supposed to press them more than one time, but we're going to go ahead and do both at the same time. We're going to see how this one does as far as puffiness, versus how it did with the beach ball design. So we're going to press this again. I pressed mine at about 312 for about 15-ish seconds. I'm going to actually pull it up at about 13 seconds because I found that that seemed to work pretty well on my couple tests. Now I will say it doesn't look puffy in the least bit right now, but I did notice that with this one, once you pull that carrier sheet, it does seem to puff a lot better. So pull up that carrier sheet before you panic, because it will puff a bit as it kind of comes off that carrier sheet. Now I will say I'm still not really thrilled with the puff, but I do think it's not bad. Actually, it's getting better as it's kind of cooling. So one thing that I will say that I've noticed with this is, as I was testing it, if it's not as puffy as you would like, what I want you to do is just press it again for just a couple of seconds. You don't have to press it very long, like maybe 3-4 seconds, and then pull it back up, and it's gonna puff even more. But I wouldn't do that like a ton of times, but I have noticed that as it cools, it does puff quite a bit more. I'm gonna go ahead, let this cool off, and then I'll show you what they both look like, and we'll talk about my final thoughts. let's talk about our final thoughts on this product. So I do think that layering it didn't go great, because I do think that this Here Comes the Sun one came out amazing, where I didn't layer. I just did that one press and then just pressed it again just to see if it would puff. But look at how puffy the black is, and it is so sparkly. I love the black for its sparkle and its puff. The yellow I don't think puffed as well or sparkles as nicely, but that is partially because of the color being a neon. It's not going to show as much of the glitter, but it is still really pretty. But you can see it's not quite as puffy, and I'm not sure if that's just based on its color or what, but because they were pressed at the same time, I can only assume that it's color based. Now with the beach ball, that white puffed amazing. It looks so good, but again, that was our first layer. The green really didn't seem to puff at all. The blue only puffed a little bit, and the pink also wasn't really great with the puff, but it did puff better than the other two. So all in all, I do think this is a great product, but I would probably not layer it like this. And I did wash these, and they washed beautifully. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know in those comments down below. I'm gonna link all the Glitter Puff HTV as well in the video's description, so that if you want to pick it up and try it for yourself, you can. Make sure that you use that code Corinne10 so you can save 5% when you shop. You can see how puffy that pink is. It really isn't bad. But like I said, really a big fan. I don't think the glitter seems to flake off. I did test that and I didn't see any glitter flaking either, but I do think these are so pretty, so fun, and honestly, I feel like it's a good quality product. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting.